Hello and welcome back to the Project Zomboid Survivor Broadcast. It's our Christmas special. Merry Christmas to all the viewers and listeners. We're joined today by a very special guest, Mr. IslandPotato.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, good. Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you for coming on. I'm joined as well by Chuck from Chuck Miller Plays and Sam, aka Nautical on YouTube.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
How are you all? All good, all good? Getting in the festive spirit?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's definitely going into Christmas and getting cold.
Absolutely.
When you have to like defrost your car in the windows,
Yeah, never use hot
you know it's
water,
Christmas. Never you.
though.
I just get like a wiper and just scrape it all off.
Yeah, get the de-icer on there. But yeah, I suppose we'll crack on. We've got, as I said, a special guest, IslandPotato, and we're just going to run through a couple of questions. And just to start with, just tell us about yourself and your channel, really.
Cool. Yeah, so I live on the Isles of Scilly, hence the island part of my potato side of things, which is off, the coast of Cornwall. Basically, I set it up because I love playing survival games, so IslandPotato survival games, just because. And yeah, just want to do some playthroughs, let's plays, and kind of generally focus on Project Zomboid now, but kind of branch into other bits and bobs.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, how's the weather been on the island? I can imagine it's
Windy.
yeah,
very windy.
yeah. I can imagine.
We don't get that much cold weather, but it's very windy.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially being I don't actually know the island.
No. I didn't like 6-7 years ago, whatever it was, but
Yeah, but it sounds like it's facing the ocean. There's not like a land barrier between you, so you get the full front of the waves. And
yeah, there's nothing between us and the Americas, so it's full on.
Yeah, you must get a lot of big waves.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I'm on the other side, so I don't get too
okay.
bad from that bit. But yeah, it can get pretty rough sometimes.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's just off Land's End, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Am I right? My geography's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's a couple of miles off Land's End, basically.
Yeah, because I actually used to live in Cornwall many years ago. You don't know if you know, a place Red Roof Hale.
Oh yeah.
Around there, I lived for a number of years. But yeah, I moved from there. But yeah, very wet winters and cold winters. I remember they had there, which is But it is what it is, I suppose. No, that's good. So what would you say your favourite series to record? What have you had the most fun in regards to the series? What's your best one?
I think it kind of has to be my first major Project Zomboid one, just because it was my first. So it was a series I did with a character called Logan Stone, where basically started off. It was the riverside storage lots and kind of lived out of them, and went around trying to basically make a train set. That was basically the premise of the story. I didn't really know what I was doing, and it was kind of my first major kind of YouTube series that I did, and it was the first Project Zomboid one I did. And I think it was the one that I regretted ending the most. I think it was the one that I didn't want to stop. I think that I haven't really had a series since where I kind of went, I wanted to keep this going as long as possible. So I think I would say that's probably my favourite, probably out of every one I've done so far anyway.
Yeah. No, that's good. What you kind of like? What kind of got you into the doing the YouTube? Then you just kind of just decided you like Project Zomboid and then just kind of thought you'd put it on YouTube?
It was a really weird... basically, I started doing a marketing apprenticeship a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
And part of that was video editing, video production, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'd bought... I wanted to do YouTube for years, and I bought the microphone. It had been sat in a drawer for the best part of 18 months. And my wife got pregnant at the time, and I thought, oh, well, that's kind of gone out the window a bit. So I put that aside, and then at one point I was doing my marketing apprenticeship. I went, you know what, I'm just going to start mucking around with some videos, try it out. Started putting some stuff on YouTube, and I think everyone's first series is not great, but I didn't start off doing Project Zomboid. It was I did Minecraft originally, It was a series called Terra Firma Craft, which it's a mod. It's a mod, but it's like it's like a hardcore survival Stone Age mod, basically. But I started off doing that, and did a couple other bits and bobs, and of did that for about 6 months before I did Project Zomboid. And I'd been playing Project Zomboid for a while before that. I think I got it in 2016. It was before vehicles or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd give it another go and picked it back up again, and yeah.
It's amazing. It's an amazing game.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where you can just put countless amount of hours in, and you shift tab. That's my Steam overlay, and it's like I've been playing this game for 4 hours. Or like not, even more than that sometimes. Like where's it gone? Because disappears. Because I don't know. Maybe it's because time is different in the game, and like time.
It's just one of them that it just sucks you in, doesn't it? It's kind of like
I'll do another day
and that kind of thing.
I'll do another day.
One more day. One more loop. One more loop.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for me the kind of thing of that was the vehicle update. I think before vehicles, it was a very different game where it was you were stuck kind of where you were, and I think the vehicle update and the animation update really made it into what it is now. Because I think
polished.
Before that, I dipped in and out of the game, but I wasn't sucked in as much. I liked it, but it was a bit like I played Hydrocraft before I played Vanilla in Project Zomboid, so it was very much like that was the sort of thing I got used to. And I played my character survived for about a year and then died stupidly, and then I kind of rage quit and had to give it a break for a little.
We've all been there.
But yeah, vehicles definitely kind of made it more open and kind of really got me back into it.
I think I agree. Like, I was the same. I think before the animations update and the vehicles, I'd probably only done 100 hours, maybe 200. I'm not too sure, but then I got back in it when the animations come, and it did just feel like a different game, I think, for me anyway.
Yeah.
And with the vehicles, I remember when the vehicles first come out, I loaded in and I was like, I don't know how I feel about these vehicles. It's all confusing. It's all new. It's scary. It's so new, and I didn't play it for a while. And then when animations come, I started playing it again.
It's weird. I always look back and think, how did we all survive without vehicles? Because of like. We walked everywhere. What?
Yeah, was there mods? Was there mods before? There must be some kind of mod of vehicles before vehicles. I think there's surely that. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't mod the game until later.
Well, Hydrocraft had a couple of modded, like they had a forklift and stuff in it, but they were just like they weren't actual vehicles. They were just like kind of
crafting items, I think.
You just kind of chucked it down. It was just an item on the floor.
Yeah, because I remember I played with Hydrocraft, and I was like, this is all a bit too much for me. And then I ended up going somewhere. And there was I remember seeing a forklift, and I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? And I think I just stopped playing it then. With Hydrocraft, I was like, nah.
Saw the forklift.
Yeah. So,
too much for me.
Well, yeah, what am I going to do with this? I can't carry it back to base. What's going on? But yeah, no, it's... yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, no. And I just want to touch on your Logan Stone playlist, your podcast, sorry. And it's really weird because it was about a year ago I was sat on holiday and I was watching your series, and I remember I watched it like ages ago, but I kind of took a break, and that series kind of got me back into playing the game. Which is weird, but really good. And I didn't get past episode 20 because it was one of those series binged all of it.
Yeah.
And then I went home and I played it myself, and then kind of I've never finished your series. Well, I'll get around to doing that. But
I mean, to be honest, I think you probably stopped at a fairly good time, because I think it got to episode 20, and there was a major update within the game, which I knew was happening. I can't remember, it was built 41 something, was it 50 odd, something like that. But basically it meant you had to start a new save, and it had been announced a couple of weeks after I started it, and I kind of put it off, being like, oh yeah, it's fine, I'll keep going. And I got to episode 20, and then the update it got released, and basically it would have broken my save, so I had to quickly stop the download before it finished. and slowly I had to finish off the series, and I had about, people wanted me to keep going, and I was like, I can't. So I had to try and finish it off I had to just disconnect from the internet constantly, and slowly mods stuff kept happening, so it was a bit like, but it worked out. It felt a bit rushed.
I think that's like a worry, isn't it, when you record stuff and then an update. Yeah. And, every series I've been in the middle of or whatever, and an update comes, and it's like, update to new world or something, isn't it?
I'm like, no.
Yeah. Every time I load it just kick me out, and then it lets me back in after.
If you've got mods, it obviously takes the modders a bit to sort of catch up, doesn't it?
To update.
So you think, what's not going to work now? What's going to be the problem?
It's what's happening in my latest series. I don't know which mod it is, but every time I log in now, I get 24 errers consistently. I'm like, it makes me paranoid every time, because it doesn't seem to affect performance, but I'm like, something's going to break at some point if I keep going.
The errors are always really strange. I mean, when me, Chuck, Ash, and I remember myself, we got in game and drove to the studio that we're sat in now, and I think it was you. You got just lots of error codes in the bottom right corner of your screen, didn't you, Ash?
Yeah,
for no reason.
Bollard or something. I think
we were just driving the car and just tons of error codes, and you're like, oh no, please don't break. Whatever's going to go wrong, please don't break.
Yeah, but I mean, with multiplayer servers, they're an absolute nightmare with modded stuff on there. I know there's ways of doing it with mod packs and stuff, but it's nothing that I know how to do. But
well, I mean, you're talking about servers, and I saw that you have your own server, IslandPotato, don't you?
Yeah,
it's your Patreons, isn't it?
Yeah, it's currently Patreon, but I think we're talking about making it open again. It was originally open for like Discord people, but we didn't have that many people on it, and at one point I thought, well, if I make it Patreon, it might make it a bit more close knit, it might make it a bit nicer. But it's kind of gone the other way, where I think I made we've got a mod pack on it, which is basically Cryogenic Winter and a bunch of other stuff, and I think it's made it too hard in some respect for the average player. So I think what we're going to do is probably open it up again to the public, and just it's more fun when there's more people. So
well, I mean, I saw your community post. I think you did I can't remember how. I think it was your latest one.
Yeah,
where you're talking about it, and you've got the night sprinters on there too.
Yeah. That's
horrifying.
To be fair, we turned the actual sprinter side of it off. It's because they've updated it quite a lot since way back when, but you can tweak it quite a lot. But now what it's got is they're a little bit faster at night. They're stronger, tougher. But the thing is, they can open doors at night.
That is horrifying.
You are never safe.
Yeah. So although they can't sprint, they can just open the door. So it does make it quite fun. But it's that extra aspect of, I think most of the time when I played Zomboid, it's like once you get a base and you've kind of wiped out the general area, you're kind of safe. And I feel like if they can just open the door and come in, it adds that little bit extra.
That is so scary thinking about that.
Yeah, can you imagine just sat? Oh no! I don't even think about that.
Board my door up every time.
Yeah,
just make
a fridge in the way.
It does work. It does work if you get the key to the house, you can lock the door, and then they can't get in. But it's always you have to remember to lock it, and if you forget, then you might wake up and go, "Oh, there's a zombie next to me." So it's but yeah,
got it. Yeah, have you got the night events on, the sleep events?
No, I don't think so. I think
thankfully,
And I think
with
servers and stuff, drop my phone. I do apologise. With servers, I think a lot of people, you get like the hardcore people that want it really hard, and then you get like the people that don't want it so hard. It's kind of it's difficult to find a good balance. I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's really. I think that's been part of the challenge with Patreon, because I feel like you have to. Well, I mean, personally, I feel like I have to cater to all of them and make it seem like it's worth it. So so it's very much I have to tailor make it and try and make everyone happy. But it's not something you can really do, especially when people have different playabilities. Like I had someone who knew, because we're playing with dynamic traits and more traits and a couple other ones, and he knew instantly how to get basically to fitness level 10 and strength level 10 using a couple of traits and this this way of doing it. And there's people like that who know how to min-max and do really well, and there's other people who kind of just starting out and go, oh, I'm dead after 5 minutes because I don't know what's going on. And it's like, oh yeah, it's because it's minus 50 outside, and it's like,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah, sorry, were you saying, Ash?
No, I was just going to say, all my hours, I've never played with Cryogenic Winter, and I would probably be dead within 5 minutes. It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, it all depends on your start. I mean, if I've tried it a few times. If you don't get a lucky start and you don't find a jumper and a scarf fairly early on, you just die. And it's a case of starting over until you find a good start which has a decent jumper or something, a couple of bits of layering, and then you're fine. But it's hard. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I've tried it quite a lot, and I know that you've got the easy the medium cryogenic winter, then the hard one. The hard one, it goes like minus 70 degrees outside, I think it is, or is it even more than that? I can't remember.
It's more than that. I think it's minus 70. Yeah, it's minus 70 in the summer, I think, and it's like it's stupid. It's stupid.
And I don't know, with cryogenic winter, I love the idea of doing it, but like as soon as I get into it, it's just frustrating because like you got to manage like your heat, and it's weird because in normal you don't have to manage your heat that much. You only have to do it like over winter.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's your main priority. It's like your temperature is your main priority, and then zombies are the second one.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you don't want to freeze to death if you're sleeping or something. Just die.
Yeah.
So I mean, I may try it one. I mean, I will try it sooner or later, but it's just when really. That's the thing. What would you say your favourite part of the game is? This is quite a broad question.
Yeah. I think I like the freedom aspect the game offers. So the fact that you can every playthrough is basically different. If you want it to be, you can do whatever you want. So you can be a nomad, you can kind of live as a hermit in the woods, you can go build a mansion, or you can go try and find all the plushies or try and turn respawn off and wipe out every zombie on the map if you really want to. There's so much replayability and different options. I mean, and especially the fact that you can do custom settings, like how deep you can get into that side of things, which I think really shows how much like Indie Stone love their game, because if they know the sorts of things that people want to play and how different people want to do different stuff, I think it's just really, I haven't really found a game since where you can have that much control over how your game works. I mean, especially you can get into like the migration settings and really,
oh my god, yeah,
that side of stuff. And it's like, it's just really, really cool going into that side of things. And it's amazing how just tweaking those settings can make the game seem completely different to what a normal playthrough would be. So I think
we kind of touched on that couple of episodes, didn't we? I think that is kind of just the possibilities. I think
endless.
Yeah, and like you say, you could play essentially Cryogenic Winter with no zombies, and it would just be. Was it you, Chuck, that said the long dark? Is it?
Yeah, it sounds like the long dark.
Yeah, because you can. I mean, there's like playing with like 10 years later mod and stuff, and like I'm doing my current series like 10 years later extremely rare loot mod. And it's like it's so difficult to just do anything.
Yeah.
And it's like because I went back to playing normal setting, like the average setting on Survivors, and you go from that to normal, and it is like completely. It feels like a completely different game. Where instead of going, oh, am I going to get lucky going to Gigamart and finding like 5 bits of food, and then you go in normal settings, you're like, oh my god, I'm overwhelmed with everything.
Too much food.
Yeah, but I think the other thing is I love the little details of the game. I think they really make it what it is. So like the fact that you can the little meta events, you can go into a house and there's like bread, peanut butter, jam, and a knife on the table, or you can find like a corpse in the back of the taxi or the toilet paper house, and all those little things really I think make the game special. Where it's like, and it makes every playthrough just different, and that's what I really love about it.
Yeah, completely. There's so much variety to everything, and I've got to ask because it's kind of we touched upon it. I think it was last episode or the episode before that. Now, I was by myself in saying that I find the game at a certain point when after you've survived a certain point, I find the game much easier, and generally an easy game once you've kind of got all the skills you need, all the food and water, and you've cleared out such a massive area. I would consider it a far more easier game. Once you've figured down like the basic mechanics like that, whereas Chuck and Ash were saying it was still hard. I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. What was the consensus? I can't remember. To be fair,
I was. Yeah.
We were sort of apoplectic that you decided the game was easy.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah.
But I mean, it's not black and white. It's like because it's the sandbox. It's there's so many different angles you can look at it. I mean, I think we'd all agree that it's hard at the start and it is easy at the end.
Yeah.
And there's like a tipping point, isn't there? Really, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think the very start is always the hardest. I mean, there's certain playthroughs where I've survived a year and I don't have an issue, but then there's sometimes I spawn in and I die within 5 minutes. And it's just like it's just one of those things, and it's like it doesn't matter how long you've played the game. The beginning is still hard because you might start off and there's no weapons in the 5 houses nearby you, or you start off in the middle of nowhere and there's no way of doing anything. So it's like it's kind of there's the difference for me between kind of playing the game because you're enjoying it or try and min-max it and kind of do it properly. And sometimes I feel like I just want to have fun and do what I want. So it's kind of like, I might go, I'm just going to run into a horde with a butter knife and see what happens. And it's like those sorts of things. But the beginning is always, I find it always difficult. And past a certain point, normally the first month, I think is what I normally say. If you can survive a month, you can pretty much survive a year. Because it's just repeating that month over and over again. Winter does kick in and make it a little bit more challenging, but if you've already repeated the same stuff you've done for the first month, you'll have enough food to survive the winter. So it's never really a concern in that sense.
Yeah, and especially if you're playing on we were talking about how you can go into a house and find 10 canned dog food, and there are aspects like the trapping. On my current playthrough, I'm just kind of in the middle of December, and I've got 60 rabbits stuffed into a freezer downstairs, which I'm going to be eating throughout the winter. And that's just me every single day as a routine, just going over there, putting some bait down there, catching any rabbits, and then just going home. And it's like that continuous thing. And now I don't actually have to leave for 3 months. I can survive for 3 months in my house.
Can you though? You can't, in a way, because your character would get really bored, wouldn't they?
I've got tons of VHS tapes and stuff.
You could stand outside. I think standing outside takes away the boredom.
Yes.
Go sit on the roof.
Yeah. I've got a balcony.
Yeah, I mean, I think as you get, the longer you go on, 6 months or whatever, I think you only die then is from, getting complacent, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tend to start getting too cocky when I'm doing it, and it's like there'll be points where I go, I can take on that horde, it'll be fine, and then suddenly it's like it just takes one coming around the corner behind you that you didn't notice, and it's we didn't take the time to scout it properly, or you go too close to the corner, and it's those little things.
Yeah. I completely get that.
I've never accidentally drank bleach or anything like that yet. But
don't jinx it.
Yeah, I always take weak stomach as well.
No.
A bit of but I think even burnt food can kill you, can't it? I think with weak stomach or prone to illness, maybe the combination of them. I don't know. I
think it's if you stack it. So it's like if you ate I think it's like if you eat a raw egg, it'll make you ill, but you'll be fine. And if you eat a raw egg, if you eat 6 raw eggs over the space of a couple of days, you'll probably be fine. But if you eat 6 raw eggs in one go, you will die. It's the stacking of the sickness thing that gets you. Same with burnt food. If you eat one bit, you'll probably be fine. If you eat multiples, you're dead. So
because I think is it lemongrass that can cure you? Same as tainted water, I think.
I've got a feeling someone said that you can technically survive bleach it with enough lemongrass. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never
heard that.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I think it took a stupid amount, but I think it is possible. But yeah, it's lemongrass is like the best thing.
I think I've heard of it. I don't know if it's true, but I think I have heard of it as well. I very rarely use lemongrass. To be fair, I don't really do a lot of foraging, but apparently now you can get so much from foraging with a high enough level.
Yeah, I did a little. It was only. Well, it wasn't that long. It was 15 episodes, a short little vanilla series, which was focused on foraging. And I got to max level, and it was like I found gas cans just foraging, and it is. I think technically you can find everything in the item table foraging. I might be wrong with that, but I seem to find everything.
Really?
Like I found just a cage trap in the middle of the woods, and like gas cans and box of nails and all sorts of random. I found like mango trees and all sorts of weird stuff. It was really funny.
Mango trees?
Yeah. There's a mango tree at the side of the road one time. That was really funny. Yeah. Average Kentucky mango tree, but it's...
God.
I was surprised. It's not a prepared question, but it's just popped in my head. What one tip for a new player, fresh spawn? What do you think it would kind of be?
My tip, I mean, pre-spawn, my tip is always like if you've never played the game before, customize it. Like, don't just go into be peer pressure to go into apocalypse setting because it's not worth it. My first proper playthrough where I survived long term was I had low population, I had infection off, and something else. But it was basically what most people would class as easy mode. But it got me used to the mechanics, it got me used to the combat, and I could explore the map without fear of just instantly dying when I got into combat and went somewhere different. And I think that really kind of got me into it and made me able to survive a bit longer than usual, because before that it was like a couple of weeks max. I think when you're in the game, I think the best tip really is like choose a weapon and stick with it. And get used to that one type of weapon. Like mine at the beginning was lead pipes. Like I always I just went for lead pipes.
That was my favorite. Short blunt.
Yeah.
All the way.
Short blunt.
And it's like once you get used to that weapon, you get used to, so your skill goes up and then you get stronger and it's better for attacking. You get used to it. And also I think part of it is you get used to the timings, like the swings and things. And I think that's one of the biggest things which makes the difference in this is if you get used to the swing timings and how many pixels basically and how many milliseconds you've got per swing, and then you can quickly run back and then do it again. And it becomes kind of second nature if you do it enough with that one particular weapon. So like I would say stick with one weapon and try it out. One weapon type for definite, but like I think if you're going to stick with one weapon type, I mean mine used to be short blunt, but I've now gone to long blunt since I found out how kind of OP crowbars are.
They are best thing.
Yeah, because they never break basically, especially when you get your maintenance up a little bit. It's like they keep going.
Yeah.
So like I would say stick with one weapon type, or at least one weapon if you can afford it, and just go from there.
Yeah, I think
I've got another question about that actually. Sorry to jump in. It's going to put you on the spot again, I'm afraid. We talked about this in a previous episode, and there were disagreements. Not big disagreements.
There was a war.
No. We get on fine. We We don't fall out. But multi-hit or not? Are you a fan? I mean, putting aside whether the beginners can use it or not, what are your thoughts on multi-hit?
I always used to use it, like always. So I think my first series, Logan's Don't, it was multi-hit, and this is how I always used to play. And then someone said, because I don't know, all the negative comments, you always remember the negative ones. You never really remember the good ones, and they're the ones that really stick with you, unless they're really, really complimentary, and then it's like, oh, they're lovely. But there was one negative comment which was kind of said about how it was like easy settings, blah blah blah. You got multi-hit on all this other stuff, and I never really turned it off before, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give it a go. And I found it really difficult at first, and there were some things I think are a bit nonsensical. Like, I feel like certain weapons should multi-hit regardless.
Yeah, we
I think
said that last.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah, I feel like what would be a much better system is if if I say you swing a katana and it goes through the first zombie, it might be insta kill, but the second hit on the next zombie, it might be like half the damage or something. Like something like the initial hit does a lot, and then everything else it's less. And I think that would be a much better system to do, but only for a handful of weapons that are like for example, a sledgehammer, you would easily knock down a few. If it doesn't matter.
Good luck swinging that though.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you'd have to have a decent strength. But I think that system will work a lot better than just kind of one or everything. Because at the moment it's like, what is it? A crowbar you can multi-hit. Is it 3? And that seems a bit crazy.
I think it should be 2 max.
Oh yeah. I think 2 max for most of it is fine. But like you can shove. There's a ridiculous amount of zombies in one go. I think it's 3.
Yeah,
but it's like it just seems that seems a bit crazy to me. But I think a little mix would be nice. But since I went to multi-hit off, it's very weird going back to multi-hit. So it's kind of hard. But I would say multi-hit off just because I'm now used to that. But I get why people use multi-hit because I used it pretty much the whole of my starting doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's like I am. My play style for this game is very much if I see. Okay, so I think I broke up. Did you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My play style is if I see a horde, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
And I did a series where I cleared out Crossroad Mall, and I got through a good 6,000 zombies. And I was getting at some points there was 300, 400 zombies chasing me. And, when you've got that many, multi-hit is very useful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And because that's my playstyle I'm doing a build series at the moment, but my next series is a Louisville series where I'm going to try and clear out as much as I can. I need multi-hit on because the amount of zombies that are there, I kind of need that.
Yeah.
No, you need a shotgun. That's what you need.
Yeah. Multi-hit. All the time.
I'll tell you what would be really cool. I've always, it's never going to happen because it's just not really the style of the game. But I would really love it in a real sort of Walking Dead way. If when you've got a katana, you swing it and you're taking out the zombies, and now and again a head flies off. I would love that. I mean, they wouldn't put it in because it's not really the style of the game, really. I think. But I've often
maybe
wished
an
for
arm
that,
or something.
Or just a limb falls off, and that's
yeah.
There's probably a mod for that, isn't there?
Yeah.
There probably is a mod for
if
that.
If ever you want something in the game, the answer is there's a mod for that.
I think my favorite playstyle before the animation update was using knives, like build 40, whichever, because it was knives was so OP where it was it was your
stab animation.
The signature one hit kill one was basically every zombie as long as you got close enough, and it was you could just take out hundreds just it was ridiculous.
It's all in timing.
Yeah, but it was one of the things because that's what I always used to use was a knife because of how OP it was. And then when the update happened, I was like, oh, what do I use? Because it just I first time I went out to use it and just died. I was like, oh, okay, this doesn't work.
Hang on a minute. No, I mean crowbars are the way to go.
Yeah,
I mean
they're just the best.
Well, everybody's got their own favorite weapons. Loads of people love spears, don't they?
Yeah, see, when I first started, I used a lot of spears. When you used to be able to forage by not moving anywhere and just get the sticks, that was the one. And then just create spears, and I'd have so many of them. They were heavy, though, weren't they? So heavy.
I always try to get every playthrough. I go, I'm going to get into spears this time. And I always try, and I always get to level 1, level 2, and then I just kind of go back to default long blunt. It's every time.
I know.
I just can't stick with it. I know when you get to a high enough level, it can get OP, but those first few levels are so grinding. It's because they break so easily.
It's the maintenance, it's getting that maintenance up, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's
excited when I find a. Sorry to interrupt. I do get excited when I'm not a big fan of spears for what you were saying because they just break, and they are quite heavy, and they are two-handed as well, aren't they? So that's not everybody's cup of tea. But I do get excited when I find a garden fork. Because they are. It's like an OP spear.
I've never really used
good
them.
Durability.
No.
They're really good. Their spears are. If they didn't break after 6 hits, spears would probably be the best weapon for low levels for new people, because the swing is really quick.
Yeah.
The range is quite quick as well. Quite far, I should say.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say.
No, I was going to say, because you can repair garden forks as well, can't you?
That's
so
true.
It makes them actually worthwhile. Because there's no point repairing a wooden spear, because it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
The only aspect is like, I think they fixed it though, was when you attach like a machete and then you kind of you repaired the spear and then removed the machete, and then the machete was like fully repaired.
Yeah.
But that was a bit ridiculous, because it was just like, oh yeah, I can just repair my machete ridiculously easily. Go from there. But
they have redone the spears.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when I used to use them, I literally had to carry like maybe 3 or 4 of them with me. One on my back, one in my hands, 2 in my backpack, and they weigh like, I can't remember how much they used to weigh, but it was ridiculous, really. When I could have just been using short blunt all along. But
yeah,
there you go. I mean, I tried short blade. One of my playthroughs. It was actually multi-hit was off, so I thought, I'll do short blade because they're fast, don't use stamina.
Yeah.
But there was I got to level 3, wasn't really doing anything. Then I went to axes, and I got to say, without multi-hit, axes are the way forward. I think personally, that's my favourite. We used to be long blunt crowbars and stuff, but it's definitely axes going forward. I think.
I can never get the timing right on axes. I don't know why. I always struggle with it. I've tried them in the past, but there's just something about it I think it's just because it's that little bit slower than what I'm used to. And it's just it's what was it? There's a mod that adds like a Viking.
Oh
axe,
yeah, I think I've seen that before.
And it's so slow. And I went in and it's like, oh, this is like the best weapon ever. Used it. It's like the equivalent of a sledgehammer. Just used it once, killed one, then just got swarmed. I was like, oh, that didn't work out.
That's more of a show-off weapon.
yeah.
More for the mantelpiece.
If on my playthroughs, I am a big axe fan at the moment, but it does change. You know, I used to be really it was always lead pipes and metal bars and metal pipes, because they were very durable and they were quite effective. But now I'm into axes, and I would definitely, if there's anybody listening that really enjoys playing with their main sort of favorite weapon as axes, I would definitely recommend the bushcraft gear and tools mod. I don't know if any of you use it.
Yeah.
It adds it just makes axes even better. So if you're a fan of axes, I would definitely recommend.
They got some good ones
mod
in there.
I talked about this with a couple of my mods on Discord recently, where it's a bit weird though that you get hand hatchets, but they are the same category as a wood axe. Whereas, like knives, you have knives and you have long blade, where it seems a bit odd that you've got the equivalent of axes, but they are still the same category. So it's like you have the one-handed axe, like hand hatchets and that sort of thing, but the proper wood axe and stuff is a proper two-handed weapon, and it's just a bit bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, because they're very different in terms of how you would use them. The same as like long blade, short blade, but it's all in one category, which I suppose in a way does make it like. Yeah, a lot easier in a sense, because you don't have to level up 2 different weapons.
Yeah,
it's all just one.
All for the axes, I suppose, isn't it? Which is quite nice. But I suppose that leads us quite well into Build 42 and your thoughts of it, because I imagine with the new crafting they may add some new skills, possibly with the weapons. What do you think about Build 42 and what
I think I'm excited for quite a few bits of Build 42. I mean, I do look at the updates and kind of what's going on, but I try to kind of skim it so that I don't know. I was ruined in my youth but why it was Spore, the game. I thought it's a really strange game to be, but I followed it religiously from when it was first being made. And it was hyped, and it was such a different game to before when it was first kind of shown. And then when it was released, I was just a bit like kind of underwhelmed. I still enjoyed it, but it was a bit like so I tend to kind of skim read stuff like that so that I get a flavor of it, but I don't go too deep into it, so that when it's released there's new things that I don't realize and don't anticipate, and I don't work myself up for it. But I'm really, really looking forward to like the animal stuff of it. I think the hunting side of things, and especially the tracking side of it, because they said about like you can track where deers go, and you can kind of see how the path. And I think that looks really cool, and really looking forward to that. Because I think that just will make. There's a couple of mods I've used for hunting. I think Snakes Mods adds it, and Hydrocraft adds it, and they're very different ways of doing it. But I think I'll be interested to see how they go. Whether it is just you see a deer, you aim, shoot, or whether there's some other aspect to it. I think that would be really cool. I'm also really keen I think you touched on it earlier, the crafting side of things and how they might get into it. Kind of I say post-apocalypse, but it's like past like years down the line, and how that will change and how the professions will change, that side of things. Because I think that'll be really cool. Kind of how people can, like, for example, do blacksmithing, whether that is a thing. They did touch upon it, and it was in the game way back when. But having something like that where you can make your own weapons and do that side of things is something really cool, which I've only really experienced like something like Hydrocraft, like I've mentioned a few times. But it's I think that would be really cool, where you kind of start off, and for multiplayer and the role play side of it, I think it's awesome, where you can specialize your field and you can be like the blacksmith or the farmer or something, and really hone your skills, which other people might struggle to do. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really good. I think it'd be really good for multiplayer, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What about
dedicated blacksmith?
Yeah, because I played on I think I've told Sam and Chuck, I played on a server where it was all loot was turned off and everyone had their roles and like business, if you like, and everyone kind of had to be a farmer, but in the end everyone kind of did being a bit of everything. It wasn't quite a good community, but to actually have it where it's going to take so long or whatever, you do specialize, that'd be really good, especially if you're building a community.
I mean, I know it's not 42, but the whole NPC thing, I think that will be interesting to see how that works if you did it single player and you still survive all these years down the line. Can you build a community like that? Like, will that be possible? Like, that's one, because whether other survivors will kind of be like just your standard superb survivors where they just follow you or just muck around, but can they actually kind of have a profession as well? I think that would be interesting to see, whether you can have like the village blacksmith and you can just kind of leave them to do whatever or order them around or whatever. But I think rather than have to min-max it, or it might be quite nice to be like, oh, you're actually this, and you find someone who just happens to be a really good carpenter, rather than have to train them up yourself or direct them. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, because I think I read somewhere the devs are gonna try and make it like kind of Crusader Kings, whereas everyone's got, all the NPCs going to have their own story eventually, and it's going to like spider web out and that kind of thing, which is amazing. So good.
Very ambitious, that is for sure. That is the word that keeps coming to my mind. I think if they could pull off NPCs, so all the stuff they're talking about doing, the bedrock of it's all very much with like NPCs in mind, I think, really. And I think the NPCs, that's the big thing that's going to be a big challenge. But I think if they can pull it off, it would blow up the same way. They can pull it off the same way they pulled off animations. The animation update. If they can get the NPC update.
I mean, how long have they been saying they've been working on NPCs?
Well,
there was NPCs originally, though, was it? Now I think there was. Yeah,
with the Kate and
Ballspot. They were the days. They were the days. Jeez.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, the NPCs are going to be amazing. I mean, I've said this before. The only thing that I'm not on the fence about two things: the builder system with like the stars of like how well something's been made, or it is like you go into one house. Yeah, you go into one house and you pick a level 1 crowbar, then you go into another house and there's a level 3 crowbar. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm not, it depends how they do it. And another thing is with the animals, because they said that with chickens there are wolves, and you've got to like get the chickens back in their kind of like huts every night. If I have to do that every single night, that's going to start to become very tedious. And if I want to leave my base for a month, or not for a month, like a week, the chickens are just going to die. Now, I don't know if there's going to be like a way to automate that, but if they automate it, it might seem a bit too cheesy or easy. But the way I could see it is them only doing that once they have the NPCs out. Because if you can tell an NPC to look after the farm, that's what you want.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're gonna do it like that at the same time. Because I'm not sure if they're releasing it like all at once, are they? I can't.
Yeah, no, I think it's just going to be the animals first, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Because those are going to be a pain to look after.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose what might be... No, I was just going to say, what might be a good, not middle ground, but a way to sort of keep everybody happy, I suppose. Maybe if you can, if they add those to like a sandbox thing, so you can just turn it off or just not.
Yeah, I think they will.
That's true.
Surely. But then I suppose, I mean, even if they are in the world, you don't really have to interact with them anyway, do you? I suppose the animals and stuff. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? You can kind of.
Well, have they talked about adding hostile animals? I don't know the question.
I think they have.
I can't quite remember, but I remember them saying there's going to be predators.
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be a bit strange to have tons of cows and stuff.
Yeah.
But then or chickens, then not have a wolf.
I imagine at least bears, wolves, and maybe rabid dogs or something. They're kind of the standard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
sounds like Long Dark again.
Yeah. Maybe a moose or two. I don't know. But yeah, it's I think it'd be really cool just to have that little bit extra stuff. Because I mean, the thing with zombies is like most of the time they're fairly dumb. Like as long as when you learn, you can just go round or skirt around them, lose sight. Yeah, but I think it'd be quite cool to have like a pack of wolves stalking you, and if they have more intelligent AI than the zombies, that would be really interesting.
Oh, Christ!
Yeah.
Can you imagine walking through the forest, jumped 7 foxes?
Yeah, and you can't outwalk them.
No. You get bit and you get like infected because no.
Yeah, that will be be something else.
That's what's gonna kill our the characters. That's the thing that's gonna kill us.
Yeah, doing a bit of foraging and then a wolf just as you.
Yeah.
Well, I think although at that point, I think it would be cool because it's one of the things I'm hoping and looking forward to is the whole update with first aid and things. Because at the moment, I kind of see it as a bit like, the only time I ever level it up is for a particular mod or something. For me, there's no other reason unless you're doing multiplayer or something. But even then, but I think it would be cool if those animals are like it's like something like stupid like ticks or like you get certain diseases or you get bit and infected by a dog or something. It's like those little things would add a lot to the game, especially if you have to. Because I think I was looking it up and there was a couple of people like worried about it like wound infections, not like zombie infection. And I was a bit like, well, it doesn't really do anything if you leave it, and it's a bit like, yeah. I mean, even like dirty bandages, it just slows down the healing process. So it's like at the sense, it's like, well, there's no real point. You can just leave it; and it'll be fine. It's whereas I think if they made that a bit more deadly and a bit like, well, you have an infection in your neck and it might get really bad. I think that would add a whole other level, and especially if you get rabies from like a rabid dog or something. It's like that's it. So but I think something like that and that side of things would make it really cool. And just that extra level of detail would make it awesome.
Yeah, I just feel like everywhere else is so detailed, but like the medical system is literally just trying to put a sterilized bandage on it or a bandage, dirty rag, done. Good luck. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And I know you can like sterilize stuff, but apart from that, like I wanna be able to, because with needles and what they call, you get like bullets and glass out.
Tweezers.
Tweezers. That's it. I want to be able to with a bit like a tick or something. There's like a thing you can get. I don't want it to become like annoying, but I think there should be a more reason to carry around certain things. Because in my character, all I carry around in my backpack is like 4 bandages, 4 alcoholic wipes, and some tweezers. Because that's all you really need at the moment.
Yeah.
Whereas
I sometimes carry a suture needle if I'm feeling fancy, but that's like it's rare. Yeah.
I
feel like I'd be jumping through some windows or something. But
I think it's going to be really difficult to get the balance because you sort of touched on it a little bit, Sam. With we want to look at ways to make it more immersive and more interesting and more diverse, and there's a lot of other things going on. But it's getting that balance between it being fun to play and it sort of being a bit of a drag with like having to
micromanage it.
Yeah, well, I think
a difficult balance for them to get right, you know.
Yeah, I think one way that they could do it is, for example, I just thought of this: you're running through tall grass and you get ticks, or you run through the forest and you hear a beehive or a hornet hive, and if you run too close, you get stung. Something like that. It's kind of it's not like if you randomly picked up ticks, annoying, but if you walked through an area that you know you have a chance of getting something, it's like a risk reward. So if you walk through that high grass, especially during the summertime, you're more likely to get a tick. Yeah. But it's your choice to go through that grass.
Kind of like running through a tree, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, running through a tree, or
slicing
you
your neck
run
open.
close. Oh god!
Laceration to the neck going through a bush or something.
I know. This is like a small, like knee-high bush, and gone, necks off. But yeah, I think that there needs to be more of a. I wouldn't like it if you're like in like a city, and you suddenly just get a tick on your neck or something. Because even though you've not been anywhere near a tick, I think it has. Whatever you do in game, you should then like get punished for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with basements potentially.
Yeah,
definitely. Aren't they going to be kind of procedurally generated? They're going to jump around the houses and things like that.
From what I read, it's randomized per map, so to make sure that people don't just like, especially on servers, they don't jump for the houses they know have basements. But also the basements themselves will be random, where most of them will be like kind of bog standard, but some might have a couple of rooms. And they said there's really rare ones which will basically be like a labyrinth underground, which sounds amazing. Where it has like
that out though.
Yeah,
there's zombies in there. Oh god, that's scary.
Yeah, that'll be the thing
with no electricity. Yeah, because they're reworking the light and everything, aren't they?
Yeah.
With no electricity, Danny, you gotta. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
It'd be like pitch black in some basements, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. Do you all play with like night settings? Do you all play with normal levels of lights or pitch black? Because I always go pitch black.
I think I used to play with pitch black, and then I got complaints from people saying because YouTube seemed to make videos they really highlight the black, which made it so kind of unviewable for lots of people. So I now go for the lightest ones because it kind of balances it out. But I mean, personal playthroughs, I always play with pitch black. But I think when I do series, I have it on the lighter ones just so people can see what I'm doing. I mean, really, what I should be doing is using a flashlight, but I think I've only used a flashlight 5 times.
I love having a flashlight in like one hand and like a crowbar, or like I think there's like a hand axe in the other.
Yeah,
and like clearing like an abandoned warehouse and. For such like a unrealistically looking game, but I say that, but I love the art style for it. I love it, and it's got it's got its own style to it. But for like, I get scared in Zomboid when it's pitch black and I'm running through a forest and I know there are zombies around me. I will get more scared of that than like a new like a horror game. Or something. It's weird. I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe this attention, because in one of those games you can just respawn or go back to the next checkpoint. But when I'm in like a warehouse in this game, in my 3-month run, and I've got a flashlight in one hand, a hand axe in the other, and I'm like slowly like clearing a house or like a apartment building or something, you know that it's so scary because the jump scare sound gets you first. That makes you like shit yourself and. But then it's also the darkness where you have no clue what's anywhere. Scary. I don't get scared much, but that's it.
Yeah, no, I mean I always use is it cat's eyes? I mean I always religiously use that. So I can always normally pretty much see, I think. But
what do you guys think? I know it's a bit unrelated, but the because like the zombie animals, because I know they've said they're not adding them, but would you be interested if there was modded in or not? You had a rat.
It
You had a
depends.
zombie cow coming for you.
Jesus Christ. Zombie bear. Oh no.
Yeah.
Climbs over your walls.
I mean, it'd be interesting. I'd definitely give it a go. I think. I mean, that could be a run on its own, couldn't it? Just zombie animals. Jesus.
And the thing is, those are faster than you. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
can you imagine getting chased down by a feral bear?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean,
that's a nightmare.
When it comes to Project Zomboid, I'm just happy with more. whatever you know.
Yeah. Well, I think we all trust them to deliver what's best for everyone, or like what they try to do.
Yeah, I've got faith in them. I think.
Yeah, and I voted for them in the.
Yeah,
because they love this game, and it really shows.
The Labour of Love one was that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I gave them a vote. I definitely. They deserve it. I mean, also I think the fishing, the mechanic, they're going to update as well on 42, which is going to be
thankfully.
Yeah, because it is.
It's a little bit cheap, isn't it?
Multiplayer though, it's like it's impossible to do fishing multiplayer. It's like you have to go AFK for like 5 hours to catch a couple of fish. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, even single player now, I kind of get somewhere safe and then just whack it fullest speed forward.
Yeah.
But sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say I did when I did Cryogenic Winter, it was the only thing kept me alive was fishing. But it was like, I caught like 100 kilograms of fish just in a couple of hours, and go back, cook it all up, and it's like, you just get fat off of it. It's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a bit unrealistic, isn't it? Like I went fishing ages, and like I didn't even like. I went to one of the spots. I can't remember where. Fishing spot.
Oh, you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, hang on. Hello.
There we go.
Yeah, a few years ago, I went to like a renowned, really good to fish because my dad would call and took me, and I didn't get anything, and we were there for like 6 hours, and I didn't even get a bite, and maybe I was doing something wrong, but yeah, I think the fishing is you can stand at the moment and get so much fish. Yeah. So much. It's kind of unfair. I think it's like
just with a spear as well.
It's too easy. Can you imagine standing there by a side of a river, stabbing the water continuously, hoping for like 7 hours?
I think there's ideal times to do it. I think isn't it? It's like 6 in the morning, 6 in the evening, or something possibly.
It's fair. It's like I think it's like is it 4 to 6 and 6 to 8 or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Something like that.
I'm just thinking, with the cryogenic winter, shouldn't all the water be ice though?
Probably, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I mean, whether rivers would freeze, I mean, the surface would, but I suppose it's.
You have to make little like fishing holes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do that, but I think it would be quite cool. To do it, obviously there's not going to be like a coastal bit in this, but I think it would be quite cool to add something like where you can go like you catch crayfish or something that's a little bit more like, rather than just you fish, maybe if you use a net or you go like wading in or something finding stuff. I think that would be quite
because you can catch the bait fish now, can't you? I think in the nets, but they don't really do a lot, but more variety, I think, because you can't catch lobster, can you? But you can find it in the fridge and stuff to cook with, I think. But I don't think you can catch it.
It would have to be fresh water anyway, wouldn't it? Because there's no salt water there, is there?
Oh yes, very true. Actually, very true. That's true. Any other points you want to touch on, or anything else to do with Bill 42?
NPCs, would we want hostile NPCs?
Yes, love it.
Too much multiplayer?
I think they would have to get a balance where it's not like they actively just automatically try to kill you. I think that's it's a way up of lots of games where it's like, like aggressive NPCs are bad, they will kill you on sight. Whereas I think Zomboid would be very different. I would hope what they would do is it would be more like they would be like drop your stuff and they threaten you rather than like kill you outright. because realistically, if it's the apocalypse, you might have this gang going round and picking on survivors, but they're probably not going to be killing people actively. You'd be like, well, we just want your stuff. And I highly doubt you would just have someone like try and shoot you on sight. But there would be But I feel like if you just had a hostile NPC who just looks at you and goes, right, I'm going to kill you now, it's a bit much. Because I think if you're surviving and you haven't seen another survivor for a while, I don't think your first instinct is shoot him. I think you'd be like, oh my god, someone else who's alive.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might just be me.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I would probably have to say that. Well, I mean, a bit, you know, the mob where like you get different like random zombie. I think it's like that where you've got like a 2% chance that they'll shoot you on.
Yeah.
Like I in an ideal world, I want to be able to walk into it. There's like a procedurally.
I think.
Yeah. Like I want to see like a procedurally generated like little town or something, or like a community. Like that'd be so cool. And if you are able to like into,
cutting out a little bit again.
Was that it's this new microphone I've got? Like I would say, I'd love how if you could like integrate yourself into other communities. That'd be amazing. Or you can work your way up in that community. But obviously, this is very complicated.
Yeah,
I don't expect that. But
down the line, isn't it?
In an ideal world, that would be so cool if you could work your way up in the community.
I think what would be awesome is if like hostile wise or whatever, it's the depending percentage of how someone is hostile to you or whatever is depending on your gear and what you look like. So for example, if you walked you happen to stumble into a survivor base and you don't realize, and you're fully kitted out with shotguns on your back and you've got a bloody baseball bat in your hand, you're covered in full riot gear, I think they might have a higher chance of being hostile to you because you look terrifying than if you walked in with like, I don't know, a tweed jacket and just and no weapon in your hand,
or even weapon drawn.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if you have nothing, they might be like, "I'll just laugh at you, wave you off, and be like, yeah, just piss off." Whereas this way, they'll be like, "Yeah, you're a threat." Yeah. So I think that would be quite a cool way of doing it.
Yeah, that would be this. It's going to be interesting to see where it all goes. Definitely.
Well, I trust them. They're going to do the main job because they are the Indie Stone and they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're just going to take forever to do it though.
Yeah, but
I know, how dare I criticize? I'm not criticizing, but I'll take you back to the word I used earlier. It's just ambitious.
Yeah.
It's just so. I mean, in a way, it's kind of like over ambitious, really.
Well, it's like I'd rather quality over quantity. It's always that thing. I would rather them take as long as they need and get it good, rather than rush out and it's just mediocre.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think they will stay true to that. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think as well, once we get NPCs and stuff, I think it's going to boost the popularity of the game more, and then more copies sold. And knock-on effect, like what multiplayer did, and build. What you want. They get more staff, and and expand, which will be good. Because I know a lot of modders, not a lot, but a few modders have gone over and worked with them now. I think, don't they? Which is
it's good. I think it was, I can't remember who it is, but it's one of the I can't remember what it is, but I remember them getting hired by Indie Stone, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. Because I mean, we haven't even touched on the modding community, have we?
No,
and we're already like, I think an hour into this.
It's the guy who worked on the was it Cherbourg map. He got hired to work on the Louisville map. It's why he kind of took a break from it, because he was like, oh yeah, I've been hired to actually work on it properly. Which is really cool. Just the fact that they acknowledge the modding community and take it on, I think, is really
it's really
cool
good at Indie Stone, isn't it? And just a testament how good the mods are, really.
Yeah,
they're incredible. Honestly, it's amazing.
And there is literally a mod for everything. It's so good. And they're all fairly stable when single player anyway, but multiplayer, that's not really the mod's fault.
I just get amazed at how many mods there are. It's like I said a few episodes ago, I was looking for a katana mod where you can make like a sheath, and like literally 2 days ago there was a mod published for it, and I was like, wow, and like there are so many mods for everything you need. Apart from Christmas trees, though.
Yeah.
Someone make a mod for Christmas trees.
There might
we were
even be
looking
a
for
mod.
one.
There may be a mod.
There might be.
There is. I've used one. There is one.
Oh,
It's a Christmas one, but it's not great, but because it's not like a proper placeable thing. But it's just a picture kind of thing. But it still does work. And you can decorate it and put like star and tinsel and stuff on it. It's quite fun.
We'll have that ready for next year.
Maybe I'll put like a poorly like cropped Christmas tree in the corner.
That's getting put in.
It's like, yeah. God. And then people will look at it and go, "What? Why is there that awful picture?"
Yeah, what is this? What am I watching?
I think I found it. It's called Last Christmas. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's another
you can tell it's a picture.
There's another one which adds presents. It's like storage boxes, but they're presents. And they're pretty cool. But the funniest thing, which I didn't realize, was when I used the mod, when you actually go to look in the box, it makes a kind of a surprise like party blower noise, like celebration. No. And it really, I had my volume on quite loud at the time, and it really made me jump out my skin. Everything else, like zombies and apocalypse and all this other stuff, it's the surprise party blower that gets me.
Yeah, I know. Imagine that. Renowned survivor. Popped balloon. Go on. Heart attack. Go on.
I mean, I think if there's nothing else, we'll probably wrap it up for this episode. Nothing else from anyone?
Well, I just wanted to very quickly, because we were just talking about NPCs, I just want to literally just going to read out a paragraph from Zomboid, their 2022 and beyond.
Okay.
Just it's because it's quite a short paragraph and it is about NPCs, and it's just like it's like mouth-watering, really. It all sounds very exciting.
Oh, I cannot wait now.
Here we go.
We've got a lot of NPC code, lots of cool systems, from RimWorld style priority and job system, personality systems, procedural story event systems, combat systems, autonomous survival behaviors, advanced group behavior systems, vehicle driving systems, and a whole bunch more. I mean, that's just, like I said, ambitious.
But that could be a game in itself.
Well, but the next bit is actually quite interesting. They finished that paragraph by saying, while nothing could be described as 100% complete, the vast majority of the hard work has been done, is functional, and is extremely cool.
Wow.
And I think I would definitely agree with that. It certainly sounds extremely cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
that.
When was that done?
So this is on one of their big.
Was it Steam?
So it's on. No, it's on. Well, I think they put it on Steam as well, don't they? But I look on their zomboid.com blog. So it's January 6th, 2022. It's
right.
2022 and beyond.
What I'm thinking is, if they're saying that at January, so literally a year ago, basically, what's it like now?
Yeah.
That's what,
I think from what I read, they wanted to, because they said they had it done, but they wanted to wait because they didn't want to put a half. I think they said about putting animals out first because they didn't want to put out the NPC code for like normal NPCs before animals, because if they put the normal coding out, then modders would kind of jump on it and make other stuff, which might ruin what they'd already been working on or something.
Okay.
So I think they said, we were going to do it in this step. We're doing animals first, then we'll do NPCs once they're more polished, because then it will be done. But there was this idea that if they put out part of it, then modders might jump on it, and then it would kind of, people would get used to something, and then it would kind of get ruined on that side of things.
They want the big reveal for themselves, I suppose. If they put all
I think partially that,
That's fair enough. They've done everything,
but
amazing.
It all sounds amazing there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really. It is actually my mouth was watering as you read that out to me, Chuck. It really was.
Steady now, steady.
Sam,
I'll just refer you back to something that you said near the start. How you were saying, I can't remember exactly what you said, but you said that how you can just like spend so much time playing the game, and you check to how long you've been playing. You've been playing for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Just imagine what it's going to be like with all that extra.
Christ.
Like, you wouldn't leave the house, would you?
Well, I always say when I first got the game, I didn't I just couldn't stop playing it, and it's gonna be like a new game, isn't it? And I wish I could stop. I wish I could not stop playing it, but well, you know,
We're gonna
older
have to
now.
relearn everything again as well.
I
That must
know,
have been
no,
scary,
no.
I think the thing that I'm looking forward to is with NPCs is the fact that like you have you would have a responsibility. And it's kind of like the one of the newest updates for RimWorld is it adds children, and it's one of those things that you didn't really think about, but you get attached to the children. You want them to survive, and it's like you don't think you'd get that attached to them, but you do. And I kind of want that feel of it for Zomboid with NPCs, where you kind of go like, oh, they're not expendable. You have to keep Jimmy alive in and and it's like so you can't just kind of go willy-nilly go off for a month and do whatever. You have to go, no, we have to make sure he's safe before I leave, or that side of things. I think will be really cool, getting attached to those other characters. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, have you watched Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Have you finished it?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna say any spoilers if anyone's listening.
I haven't.
Like, you know how it's like a community at the end, so it's like
Yeah.
Saviors and Alexandria, kind of stuff like that. How that would be amazing if that could happen in this game. You know, it's like kind of like sieges between both communities, or you know. How does like expanding community, you know, building
Diplomacy,
the walls?
all that
They have to be.
stuff.
Yeah. I think it's
Trade.
it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, so much potential. There really is.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, I think we'll call it there. I'm sure we could, as always, go on for hours more, but we will call it there. So thank you everyone for listening, and thank you, Mr. IslandPotato, for joining us as a special guest.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great talking with you.
Yeah, you too.
Merry Christmas to everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
See ya.
Cheers. Bye.